Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Alicia Lis. She has just released a fantastic debut single titled Lola, and I am super excited to talk to her all about it. Alicia, thank you so much for being on today. How are you doing?
Hi, Austin. I'm pretty good considering it's 7 a.m. here.
Yeah,
And yeah,
we
in
are in
Melbourne.
opposite sides of the world right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy
Exactly.
how time works.
Yeah.
Um, well, how is life over there? How's the music scene?
Melbourne music scene is amazing. There's so much music and so much variety. So
Yeah,
actually went to a really quite sort of famous jazz club in Melbourne just Saturday night. Um,
nice.
yeah, called the uh, Jazz Cat. and it's there's so much. I mean, it was more soul music, but
Sure.
yeah, it's just yeah, so much to offer.
Nice. I've never been, but I've always wanted to go.
Yeah.
Well, you've got this amazing single out. It's called Lola. And like I said before we started recording, I listened to it plenty of times at this point. I would love to hear from you, though. What is it about? What inspired it?
This song lyrically is about women are standing in their power and really just owning their power and really not taking any BS from anyone.
Sure.
Uh, Yeah, that's in essence what it's all about. This is actually a poem written by another someone that I met 20 years ago. She's a poet, a Melbourne poet, and it's actually her poem. And I was
Oh,
really,
wow.
really strongly drawn to it when we were both studying at the same time. I was studying music, she was studying poetry,
Hmm.
and she wanted some music put to one of her poetry pieces, and I went in and read through her poet through a few poetries, and I was like, I really, really am drawn to this woman's poetry, and not really understanding what it meant, but when I went and met her at her home, she she explained, in essence what it was about, and a lot of her poetry is about sort of a similar theme. And being as someone who's in strong as well, it just really, I think that's why I connected to it. Um, yeah, so it is actually a song that was written 20 years ago.
I had no idea, but I really enjoyed it. And honestly, when I go back, I'm going to listen to it with a different ear at this point after knowing the background.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously, it is a very vocal forward track, although I love the instrumentation side of things. How did it all come together through like the production process and just like
Mm.
piecing it, for the final product?
Yeah, it's quite an amazing process because I not once did stand foot in a studio. It was all done online. So I did it with a producer called Danny Blackburn, who's based in Leeds in London.
Okay.
So how the process started was I recorded my the guitar track, the vocal track, sent it to Danny.
Okay.
We have a chat prior. These are my influences. This is kind of the sound I'm after. I want a bit of a build up to the song. I knew I wanted strings in it. I
Yes.
initially wanted viola, and he's like, "How about cello? I've got a really good cellist." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, we'll give it a go." Because it's a completely different range,
Yeah.
and it worked. It worked. So anyway, I sent it off, and then he laid down um, bass. I think he did some keys and drums, and then he'd just send it to me. I'd give him my feedback. We'd have a little like an online chat, and
Sure.
again, time zone thing. It was
I was gonna say it's really
uh,
it's a
24
global
hours.
operation
It's amazing,
at
yeah.
this point.
And
I mean, you're making it work.
yeah, I know.
Seriously.
And yeah, so we just do a lot of back and forths. I never met the cellist. I
Okay.
only just recently found out who he was, and I just notated what I wanted and vocally kind of sung over the parts that I wanted it, and then sent it to Danny. Danny sent it to the cellist, and then he sent it back, and I was like, oh, that's really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just layer upon layer and, back and forth, back and forth. Can you tweak it like this? Can you change the synth sound so it's a bit more warm and um, yeah, a lot of back and forth. So there was some times where I felt like, oh, maybe I'm being a little bit too demanding, but
No,
I know what I wanted, and Danny
absolutely.
was so amazing.
That's the
He
thing.
just took it all on board, and even with the intro, I was like, I'm not quite sure exactly 100% what I want with the intro. I know I don't like it currently, and he's like, how about I just record three different intros and you pick one that you like? I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
wow. I mean, yeah, if you're able to do that. I was
yeah,
gonna say though, like it's your music, your name is going on it. Ultimately, it should be what you
yeah,
want. You're the one putting the
yeah,
time and energy in. Like you should be happy with the final product.
yeah.
One of my major standouts of the song is that it holds a lot of different styles and genres in it. Like
Mm,
it's not just one thing. And so
mm,
I'd love to hear from you. Like if you had to give the elevator pitch to someone, like this is
yes,
what you're going to get on this song, how would you describe it?
it's a genre that's new to me, but it does encompass it as dream pop folk.
Yes. I was
Yeah,
hoping you would say that because it really does pull so many different
yeah,
elements.
yeah.
Nice. And considering that this is your debut single, I have to ask, are we expecting more? Are you the type of artist that is always working on the next thing?
Yes, I did speak with Danny and I sent him some demos and we've picked one to work on next.
Okay,
It's a
nice.
matter of when.
Yeah,
It was going to be this month, but now that I'm tying, because I teach full time, I'm a
right.
high school teacher by day, and it's just getting pretty crazy at the moment. And tying loose ends up because I'm going to another school next year, so it
Mm,
might not happen till the new year to start on a new track, but it's definitely on the books. Yeah.
I understand. Will we potentially hear any experimentation? You don't need to get into the specifics, but
Experimentation in terms of
in
orally
terms
hearing
of
it, like a
not
demo,
in
like a
terms of like trying new things or going
trying
down
new
a path.
things. Mm, I think this one will be a little bit more edgy. That's all I could say.
Okay.
I'm just not sure how much experimentation.
Yeah, and that's completely fine. There doesn't
I
need to
think at
be.
this stage it might be good to keep it sort of in a similar style.
Sure.
Yeah, just so it's not you jump onto my Spotify and go, that's really odd. They're completely two different,
I
styles.
fully agree. And also, it's the music that you're making. It's what you want people,
Yeah.
it represents your name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
And for
Now
those
consider
who like
oh,
dream pop, it's like, yep, I like that artist. I'm going to follow that
there you
artist.
go.
That's what she's releasing.
For that sound. Now because this is your first single, I want to know like was there one thing that pushed you over the edge to like get this officially done? Like what's your background with music?
Yeah. Look, I'm 42 years old. I studied music when I finished. I did music in high school. I studied music when I finished high school, became a high school music teacher.
Sure.
And my first, dream that I had was to be a recording performing artist. And to subsidize that, I thought I'll become a music teacher, and that just took over.
Yeah.
And, you know, fast forward 20 years later, I I was turned 40 and I was just went, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything for me. So I just went, no, I'm going to do music for me now because I had a family and my kids, were a bit
Yeah.
older now, and got back into singing, getting professional singing lessons. I did get lessons, but now I'm getting lessons from professional singers who are, in the Melbourne and music scene. And I entered into many competitions, and there was one competition that I entered called Stage Door that I won, and it was entries from around Australia, and I won the 16 plus category.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
huge.
That was last year. And the prize was a $5,000 artist enhancement package.
Wow.
Yes, and that included professional photography, a voucher from the online recording studio, and also what was the other one? Oh, and a music a media shoot as well for a music video. So I actually have a music video for Lola as well.
Nice. I haven't seen it, but I'll make sure to
I'll
check it
send
out
you
after this.
I'll send you the link.
Please
I'll,
do. I'll link it so that people can just watch and listen to everything. That's
yeah, it's
amazing.
beautiful.
Um,
Yeah, so I that was the catalyst of getting it started
sure.
because I was like, well, I've got this now,
Yeah,
so why don't I use it? And that's what I did. And so now I suppose it'll just become a snowball effect now that I've done one and
exactly.
I'll
I
do
have
more.
I can only imagine that there's like an addicting quality to it of like, you've been surrounded by music for such a long time. Why not make some originals of your own? And if you're not, pressed for time or anything like that, then just, do it when it makes you happy or when you're inspired by it.
Yeah, so there a lot of the songs that I will be releasing, I suppose, in the next coming like year and two, are
Yeah.
songs I've written 20 years ago that I've just got these demos and
Right.
just never released it.
Now
Yeah.
that you've been through this process though of like dreaming up the song all the way to the clicking submit button, is
Mm.
there something that you look forward to the most throughout the entire process? Like the one thing that gives you the most energy?
I really loved the the process of every time I got the song and from Danny and
Mhm.
just listening to my, I suppose, that internal audio um, vision that I had
Sure.
come to fruition, along the
Yeah.
process and getting the final, um, mixed, mastered, and just go, oh my God, here it is.
Yeah. I did it. We're making music. This is a real thing. I
Yeah,
hear that answer a lot and it just makes sense because it's like you start with nothing or you start with a small idea and then it becomes this physical thing that you can experience and make others happy. It's got to be a beautiful feeling for sure.
yeah, it's pretty
Um,
exciting.
absolutely. So we are very close to the end of the year here, which sort of begs the question of what does the next year of your life look like? You've highlighted a few things that you'd like to happen, but are there any like lofty goals or things that you'd like to accomplish by year's end?
Yeah. Um, I'm wanting to accomplish it hasn't really got much to do with my own music, but I definitely want to record a new song that
Sure.
I know I want to do and release another one at least. And I also want to get into corporate singing as well.
Oh,
Melbourne, yeah. So
there you go.
I've got an agency that's wanting to work with me. One of the sort of the top entertainment agencies, and
Nice.
so I really need to put together a professional reel.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's my goal for next year, as well
You
as
got
recording
that.
a song.
That's a
Yeah,
definitely a personal and a professional goal, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Awesome. I have a couple more questions for you. I want to know what are you listening to? What has been at the top of your playlist, or just something that you're like, everyone, you need to hear these guys. They're incredible.
Yeah. Cannons.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, I came
Yeah,
across them strangely, when you add music to your Instagram post
sure.
yeah, and there's one and I was like, "Oh, they're really good." And then of course, after listening to that going,
Sure.
I'd like to see if maybe some of their other stuff is like this. And then sure enough it is. So I'm
Nice.
really, really loving them at the moment. There's a local artist. I'm just looking at my playlist. My
Oh yeah,
playlist is completely and utterly eclectic.
that's okay, as
Um,
it should be. It's a
yeah, I work,
playlist. Of
yeah, like very,
course.
very eclectic in terms of style as well. It's not
Sure,
all
sure.
the same. Yeah, so Cannon's Beyonce, I'm getting into her at the
Okay.
moment, her new album.
Yeah.
And who else? A Australian based in Western Australia, Drea.
Oh, haven't heard of her. What kind of music does she make?
It's sort of R&B, soul, hip hop. Yeah,
Nice.
it's
Sounds up
cool.
up my
Yeah,
alley.
yeah.
Fantastic. Alicia, my last question for you here is basically for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the person that's going to listen to your music for the first time, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to them?
Be somewhere where you can not be distracted and just absorb it and take it in.
I think that's a great answer, and I think it fits the tone and the mood of this song very
Yes,
well.
definitely.
Nice. Alicia, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm thrilled that we can make this work despite our crazy time difference. And please let me plug your music for you one more time. If you didn't catch it the first time around, the song is called Lola. It is wonderful. I personally vouch for it. I'm super excited to see what else happens in the next year or so. It sounds like you've got a ton in the works. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day today.
Thank you so much, Austin.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for reaching out.
you're very welcome. I
All
hope
the
to
way
speak
from
soon.
what, Los
Yeah,
Angeles? Is
based
that
in Los Angeles.
amazing? What?
Yeah, love it. Yeah, have a great day, and we'll be in touch.
Take care.
All right, bye bye. You too.
Bye.